In today's video I want to talk to you about my 5 favorite landscape photography locations in the Netherlands. So if you ever want to go here, or if you live in the Netherlands, these are 5 places to keep in mind, because they have given me so many great photo opportunities, and they all have their own characteristics on when to go there, what kind of weather suits them best. And in this video I want to explain a little bit about these areas and show you some pictures from those areas. So let's dive into the video. So number 5 on my list is called Campina, and it's about 45 minutes to an hour driving from my house, and it's a very open area inside of a forest. So on the edges is forest, but on the inside it's a very large open area, and it has a lot of beautiful trees that are all separated from other ones, so you can really isolate trees there, and it's a really nice area for some foggy conditions. There are some small lakes there, so usually that fog comes out of those lakes and covers those areas. And there are also a lot of birds there, a lot of geese, spoonbills, and they tend to fly over there. So it's a really nice area, and I shot a couple of great images there. I haven't been there too much, I think maybe 3 or 4 times. But the nice thing about this area, and I will show you some images after this, is that it's also very close to number 4 on this list. And the beautiful thing is that this is more of an open area, and the other one that I'm going to show you after this is more of a forest area. So when I'm driving there and conditions aren't as expected as I hoped it would be, then it's always there's always an escape plan. I can always change my plan on my way there and do something different. And sometimes you just have this grey, moody mornings where nothing works, and then both of them aren't really suitable, I think, but still then you can do some really nice stuff, like you see in this video. I'll put a link up here, and I did some double exposures there, which are always nice to work with, because there are a very big birch tree forest there. So number 5 on the list, Campina, absolutely worth taking a visit. So number 4 on this list is called Veluwezoom, and this is a forest area with a lot of small lakes within this forest, and it's so beautiful. There are small islands with trees on them that you can really isolate from its background. Usually the backgrounds are really far away, and I've been there a couple of times, and every time I've been there it delivered a couple of nice shots, and especially in winter days or early spring days. You have this chance that there's some haze above the water. You get this epic light conditions. You do have to wait, because there's no chance of a direct sunlight because of the trees surrounding everything. But the moment the sun comes over this tree line, it can create some magical conditions, and really light up the trees. And it depends on which time of year you're there, because sometimes of course the sun changes its angle, and in some occasions it's really side lit on some islands, and the same islands can be backlit on a different time of year. So it's really worth coming there on different times of year. And also the bird life here, a lot of geese are always inside of those lakes, and it's just a really nice area. And the nice thing is you have the opportunity to shoot over these lakes, these little islands, but there's also a very beautiful forest around it with a lot of paths that are really nice to shoot light rays, especially on a little bit of a foggy day, a foggy morning. and yeah, it's just really, really nice. So like I told you in the fifth one on this list, Campina, the nice thing about Oosterwijkse for me, coming from a little bit further away, is I always have an escape plan here. I can always choose between this forest area or this open area. So depending on the weather, I have about 45 minutes in the car to think about, am I going to do this or am I going to do that? And usually I stick to what my plan is. Sometimes I just ignore it and choose something else on my way. But they are both really nice places, close to each other, definitely worth coming around for. So let's quickly head on to number 3. So before we head on to number 3 on this list, I want to ask you, in last week's video I already asked you, if you have some images that you would like to be reviewed by me, please send them to me. I want to make a video with images from you, my audience, watching these videos, showing your images, telling some positive feedback. I'm not the kind of guy that just cracks an image. I'm the kind of guy that gives you positive feedback. So if you want that, and you got my promise on that one, I will put your image in my video and have my feedback on it. So if you want that, please get in touch through Instagram Messenger, Facebook Messenger, fill in the contact form on my website, or just send me an email, info@guidovandewater.nl. And the second question that I have for you, what kind of videos would you like to see on this channel? What would you like to make next to my on location videos on Sundays? On Tuesdays I always make Thursdays, sorry, I always make this kind of videos with tips, tricks, reviews, locations, just things that are on my mind about photography. And I'm just wondering what's on your mind and what would you like to see on this channel that I can make a video about. So please get in touch and let me know that. So number 3 on this list, and this is a real epic place. It's called the Speulde Forest, or Speulde Bos in Dutch. And it is famous for its dancing trees. You know, these trees have grown into really strange shapes, and it's just a magical place. And especially when you encounter a little bit of a foggy morning and you can catch some beautiful sunbeams coming through those leaves. And maybe in autumn when things are changing colors, you can really isolate little leaves on trees, or isolate one tree from another. They all have these unique shapes, or get some really nice selfies there with yourself standing in light beams. There's so many possibilities there, and if nothing of that works, there's always a possibility to get that macro lens on and look for small things. I've shot some really nice abstract images there, or really tiny macro images from the smallest mushrooms. It's all possible there. So it's a really nice forest area, and it suits a lot of different conditions. But these foggy mornings, and especially if you have temperatures around 0 to 5 degrees with a very high humidity in the air, you have the absolute chance of these beautiful light rays coming through this forest. So definitely worth checking out. It is a place in winter. It's not as interesting because all those leaves will be off the trees and you won't have those colors. But on other days of the year, it's a real epic place. Number 4 on this list, and this is a real epic place and one of the most beautiful locations in the Netherlands, is National Reserve, the Bosbank, and it's part of the Veluwezoom National Park, and it's just so stunning. It's one of the only places in the Netherlands that you have a little bit of natural hills. Sorry, some insects are eating me here, but yeah, it's just epic, and all these hills are covered in heather, and in autumn, or yeah, what is it, August, September, this heather turns pink and you have this beautiful, beautiful area with heather. And the nice thing here is that there are so many different opportunities. So this area suits all kinds of weather. So you have this heather area with hills, and on these hills there are a lot of lone trees, and especially some dead trees. Some of them blew over last winter, but still it's just magical. And around this heather area there is a beautiful forest, and some places are really old with some really huge gnarly trees there, and some are really dense, where you can really find and isolate different colors or different shapes. So a lot of trees are straight up, and sometimes there is a really strange curved tree between them that you can really use to emphasize your photos. And there's also a lot of wildlife. There are deer, there are a lot of birds there, all kinds of insects that you can photograph. And there's also a really huge sand area, which how do you say that? It has some trees on it which you can isolate which you can isolate stuff on. Sorry about that, but it's just an area that you have multiple different landscape things that can be your interest. It has wildlife, so you can go all different directions here. And what is the best place? Of course, it's a foggy condition, a foggy morning, but also just a sunset with a couple of clouds in the air can be really nice, because you can really see the sun coming up there in the far distance with all those hills in the foreground. And if there's no cloud at all on a summer day like this, there are a lot of flowers in the forest that you can photograph. Or once again, you get this forest where you get light rays through. It's just an area that has it all. But there's one area that maybe not as huge, and it might not be, might not have as many photo opportunities as this one in case of different subjects. But for photography, number 1 is my absolute favorite area. I wanted to shoot this last part under these beautiful trees here, but they are completely covered in some kind of web. And I don't know what it is, but it didn't look very nice to stand under. I know there's these little caterpillars that get on your skin and then really got these burning places here. So yeah, I'm definitely not going to film this here. So number 1 on this list, and my absolute favorite area, and there are 2 really good videos coming up in a couple of weeks from this area. It's called National Park, the Maasduinen, and especially the part that's called the Quin. And it's a really small area, but it's definitely worth checking out. And this is the area that is most famous for me for its atmospheric conditions. So fog is really common here, and especially if you have some experience there, especially in the winter when temperatures drop really low, you have some chances of fog, or on a day like this, and you will see that in the video that's coming out in a couple of weeks, some blue skies. We had 31 degrees, but in the night the temperature dropped to 10 degrees, so that was almost 20 degrees temperature drop there. And what happens is those little pools of water there, the water starts to vaporize in the morning, creating this beautiful haze over the water, and it's just a magical place. You can really shoot some beautiful moody scenes there with beautiful light rays, beautiful colors through this fog. There is a lot of heather around there, so in August you can get purple heather shots there. There is some wildlife. There's also an area more to the back with a lot of hills, a nice tower that you can climb on to look over the forest. Some open areas with trees separated from other ones, and it just has everything. And maybe not as large as the number 2 on this list, the Postbank, but the amount of atmospheric conditions that I've experienced in this area definitely makes up for it. So number 1 on this list, the Quin in National Park, Maasduinen. I hope you enjoyed this little list of my favorite areas in the Netherlands, and this list is maybe changing next year. I'm discovering new areas all the time, like the Campina. I didn't know of that last year, and I discovered that this year, and I had some really great moments there. So I'm just trying to find new areas, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find areas that are really different from one another. So no matter what day I go out for photography, I always have an area in mind which suits that conditions. And if you're wondering, where am I standing now? These are just the floodplains on 5 minutes from my house. So I drove here on my bicycle towards this area, and I was just hoping to scout out some nice trees here, and just to find some areas that are really close to my house. So if I just want to go out for about half an hour, I can just go over here. And I only discovered these horses here, some beautiful flowers, these trees here, but they are covered in this disgusting web. So I don't know if I'm ever going to shoot that, but these root systems, they are really epic. So I might keep it in mind. And sometimes this area floods all the way, and there's a forest of dead trees over there. So there is a lot to shoot here on only 5 minutes by bike from my house. So I might get back here, and who knows, this will be in my list next year. But there are some places on the 6th and 7th spot also, but this was the top 5. So these were my 5 best places. I hope you liked the video. Hope to see you this Sunday for another epic trip. I hope you like it. So thanks for watching. If you like the video, don't forget, push the thumbs up button, and there's also a little subscribe button underneath this video. And if you push the notification bell and select all, you will get a message when I release my next video. So on Sundays, on location videos, and on Thursdays, videos like this, tips, tricks, reviews, editing tutorials, looking at your pictures, anything you want. So please, once again, let me know what kind of video would you like to see, and I will try to make it. So thanks for watching. Hope to see you this Sunday. Bye bye.